opt out, especially when you see what Andy Bailey has cooked up for this Sacramento Kings, New Orleans Pelicans trade. And this is very, very intriguing. I think people in Sacramento are going to love to hear this. This trade, Brandon Ingram for Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and a 2027 first-round pick. End of sentence. That is it. Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, 27 first-round pick for Brandon Ingram, especially after hearing all of those 3 first-round picks, only having one, having it not be this year's pick, and trading off the 2 guys that I think everyone's most comfortable leaving this offseason and bringing back in a guy like Brandon Ingram. I think that's what all Kings fans want. The quick write-up on this trade, reports in May suggest the New Orleans Pelicans will aggressively explore Brandon Ingram trades this summer, but it's fair to wonder how robust his market will be. Brandon Ingram, mind you all, is on a 1-year expiring contract. You will then have to re-sign him moving forward. So I think that's why there's only 1 first-round pick, just the uncertainty of what his future would hold. The 2019-20 season was the only time in his career he'd had an above-average effective field goal percentage, and he barely got there that year. Now at 26 years old and coming off a postseason in which he averaged 14 points and shot 35% from the field without Zion Williamson. Still, he'd be closer to a third option with the Sacramento Kings, which means he'd probably face the opposition's best perimeter defender less often than he did in New Orleans. And he's a far better creator and distributor than either Harrison Barnes or Kevin Huerter. Losing the shooting of both of those 2 isn't ideal, but having 3 playmakers with Ingram, Fox, and Sabonis would give Sacramento one of the league's more unpredictable offenses. For New Orleans, this deal is a bet on Zion, who missed the playoffs with a hamstring injury but played a career-high 70 games in the regular season. It would be easier to tailor the offense around him, Barnes, and Huerter, both of whom are comfortable playing off the ball, than Ingram. The maximized version of Zion and the Zion-led Pelicans needs to be surrounded by shooting, let him create from the top, and have his drives flanked by some combination of CJ, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Barnes, and Huerter. So there's the breakdown. That's the explanation for why maybe people would be wondering, why would New Orleans do this? What does this do for New Orleans? Well, I guess it is a bit of, wouldn't call it addition by subtraction, but it's getting out Brandon Ingram, who's definitely the best, most talented player in it, but bringing in guys who essentially know your role. They know what they're out there to do. There's no confusion on usage percentage or anything like that. HB's going to stand in the corner, take shots when he's open, sometimes won't. And Kevin Huerter's just going to let that thing fly. I think there is some value in just kind of saying, Zion, you have the ball, you drive. We need you to be a version of Luka almost, where it's just get to the rim, draw attention, and have shooters all the way around him. It makes sense. I think the question, and when I put it on Twitter, a lot of people just kind of wonder, it sounds good in theory, but is that actually enough to get that done? 1 first-round pick, HB, and Kevin Huerter. And will there be better offers is of course the other question. Will somebody be able to top that offer for Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, the saving grace is only having 1 year.
Right.
But somebody will still throw an extra pick on
maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. And then the other thing is the reports on Brandon Ingram and the coaching staff getting into it about getting him the ball more.
Oof.
When you read when the write-up says he could be the third option, will he be happy? He's another guy, like you said, I don't know anything about Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't really know much about Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is he wants out of his career.
Nope.
If he wants to be a number 1, if he wants to be a number 2, if he's okay with being a number 3, because then you still have the emergence of Keegan Murray. Right. So I think it could be a really good orchestra as long as everybody is cool with, hey, Brandon, it's your day tonight.
Right.
It's always going to kind of be Sabonis' day.
Right.
But it's your day tonight. It's De'Aaron's day tonight. Right. It's Keegan's day tonight.
There, man.
If Malik's still there. Yeah. So, I think that is something we haven't talked about as far as Brandon Ingram. How if those reports that we saw from the playoffs were true as far as get me the ball more, we just need to know more, right? But I would still get him in the building and figure that out once you get there. And if you're asking me, well, what if Brandon Ingram leaves in free agency? Does it still feel like a good deal?
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. I mean,
those are 2 guys that you were you were totally okay with moving off of anyway.
Are you want to save less? You want to have lesser guys for more guaranteed years
for the flexibility of it.
Yeah, or do you want to just take a chance and try to convince Brandon Ingram to stay?
Yeah.
Again, Brandon Ingram like big markets. What does he like? He's done the LA thing. He's done the New Orleans thing. What is it that he wants? All right, we continue the trade conversation. Also, we'll get into Jimmy Butler and why he's allowed to chase a bag, but nobody else is. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find